We're talking to Mr. Ryan Alford and Mr. Chris Hansen. They're talking about how to happy hustle in your business. We talk about entrepreneurship. We talk about some of the lessons they learned. We're talking about Vaycay, marketing. We're going to be diving in. Do you want blissful balance in your personal and professional life? Great. What's up, guys? My name is Kerry Jack, and I want to help you happy hustle a life you love, one full of passion, purpose, and positive impact. I'm a lifestyle entrepreneur, a professional model / actor, a digital marketing specialist, a podcast host, author, a biohacker, an eco-warrior, a martial artist, a hippie cowboy, and a humanitarian. My goal is to educate, inspire, and entertain you to live a life of passion, purpose, and positive impact. It is time to happy hustle your dream reality. Yee-yee! All right, Ryan Alford and Chris Hansen, welcome to the Happy Hustle Podcast, my bros. I am super stoked to rock the mic with you guys.
Yo, Kerry, what's up? We're happy to be here.
Yeah, man, this is going to be a fun one. I mean, you guys are both serial entrepreneurs. You guys are founders of Vaycay, which I'm really excited to talk about. You are a husband, a father, Ryan, Chris. You're still out there searching for the right one. So shout out to all the ladies who want a strapping young man.
Hello.
Eligible bachelor. Yeah.
Oh my God.
But
yeah.
you guys are both happy hustlers. And that's why I wanted you on, because, you know, you guys put the happy in your hustle, and you're out there just making a positive impact and really being unapologetically yourselves. And I'm excited to talk about all things marketing, all things Vaycay, you know, your CBD company, and really just your entrepreneurial journey and how you manage to blissfully balance your lives personally and professionally. But before we get into all that good stuff, gentlemen, what is something interesting about yourself that not too many people know? And we'll start with you, Ryan.
All right, I'll give you two things. One, I have one kidney. I was born with a cystic kidney, and Chris may not even know that. Chris knows a lot about it.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
And so I have one kidney. I was born when I was a day old. I was very sick. They thought I was going to die. It was because I had a cystic kidney that was trying to my body was trying to function with two kidneys, and the kidney was inoperable. Did not operate. They operated on me and took it out, and I was fine. And I'm 6'5", 270, so it stunted my growth. Unfortunately.
Oh, jeez.
No.
Louise.
That's always with kidney problems. Typically, like they grow, they don't grow as much or something. I learned that like after the fact, because everybody goes, "Is it going to stunt his growth?" And I'm like, "I sure hope not." And then, nonetheless, played basketball my whole life. And secondly,
Yeah.
there's a little argument in the family. There's a couple of I was like the first Alford to graduate college. So, or one of. My cousin wants to claim the fame, but he ended up getting to law school and doing things. There's some debate about who exactly may have graduated first, but my straight line Alford, like let's say from my dad's grandparents through to, they had 5 children, to all the grandkids and everything else. So first Alford graduated from college and one kidney. There you go. 2 facts. Very few people know.
All right, Chris,
Wow.
to you.
Learn something new every day. This guy's got one kidney. Can't believe you've been hiding that from me this long.
Literally hiding it.
Anyways, this is a great question, and I'm unfortunately, I don't know, fortunate or unfortunately, I'm a pretty open book. But I would say maybe something that would apply even to just business and entrepreneurial. It took me like 7.5 years to get a college degree. I mean, I think that's something not a lot of people know, and everyone wants to rush, where it's like, I definitely took my time and jumped around a little bit, went to a few community colleges.
Yeah.
I think I did it the right way. I think I did it the right way.
Yeah, you did.
Interesting. I mean,
I'll add on to that. I graduated the lowest in the worst of my class. I graduated with a 2.01 from Clemson. There's debate. I think there's a couple guys that want to claim, but you have to have a 2.0 to graduate. And literally, I graduated with a 2. I never went to class, and teachers, I aced 80 to 90% of the tests, but they dock 10 points after your 4th absence. So I walked the highest I could get in most classes was a 70. So I was actually a straight A student that never went to class.
Wow.
So it was, my teachers hated me because I went
Listen
to
to
like
that marketing spin.
I know. I hated going to class. And I just am not a rule follower. And so yeah, grades don't make everything. If you inverse that on income versus GPA, well, I'll let you do the math.
True. And, on that note, I mean, I do find it interesting. Like most entrepreneurs that I know weren't great at school. It actually, I'd say the majority were terrible, in a lot of regards. And I fall in that category. Like I was not a great student by any means or a great employee. And I'm just curious for you guys, when you decided to become an entrepreneur and you took that leap of faith and really started out on your own path, can you recall that moment and maybe to an aspiring entrepreneur out there, maybe some words of wisdom that you would say to someone who's maybe on the fence about becoming an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I'll jump in there. I consider myself a natural entrepreneur, but I worked for other people for 15 years.
Mm.
So there's two things. One, I recognized I was working for a very entrepreneurial, allowing company.
Mm-hmm.
The ad agency I worked at, they let me make my own rules. They got out of my way, and I made them a lot of fucking money. And so, it worked out good for them and good for me. I mean, I was an arrogant shit in a lot of ways, but I made a lot of people a lot of money, including myself. Spent a lot of money too, but uh, but I'll say this: so I knew it was there, but I was smart enough to know that, like, hey, I'm probably not great at managing my time yet. I got a
Mm.
good gig here. I have a foundation around me because I almost looked at it like I was an entrepreneur within a company and I had a team around me and I didn't have to pay for it. Like,
Mm.
and so you can bloom where you're planted. And,
Mm.
and so I think I recognized that on some level, even as stupid as I might have been or smart as I might have been, being, you know, young and dumb and driven and all those things, had all the piss and vinegar and everything, as they say, my dad used to say. But but I was smart enough to kind of recognize that. I think for people that are kind of going through that journey, you need to recognize, okay, you need to have excellent time management and a lot of other things if you're going to be a young entrepreneur. And there's nothing wrong with learning from others while making some dough while you do it, because it
Yeah.
can be done, And so while you sort of build the art, the toolkit, the internal skills and the external skills to then become the entrepreneur. And so, I mean, that light switch probably went on for me year 7, 8, 9, where I probably could have done it. But I was on such a ride in a turn, and like it was too good, but the opportunities, and then I was making trailblazing, in the ad agency world, developing some of the most well-known ad campaigns ever created. And not everyone were mine. Some of them were, you know, either my strategy or my client or my insights or my writing. It just depended on the client. We worked on Can You Hear Me Now with Verizon, the best a man can get.
Mm.
Crossed paths with the team that did that. And then lots of Budweiser and Audi, Lexus, Samsung, Motorola,
Mm.
the Droid campaign. That was probably my most successful campaign. We kicked Apple's ass, and so
Wow.
I say all this, but those opportunities were there because I was working for an entity bigger than myself,
Yeah.
even if I was being able to spread my wings there. And so
Mm.
I think for everyone, it's a little different. And I think the light bulb was always on, the entrepreneurial light bulb. But I think we have to know the right time and be humble to a degree in recognizing what that path might be for any different person.
Yeah. Well said. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what Ryan said. It actually sparked a lot of memories for me that what he said, basically learning from other people. Even I think of one of my first kind of, startup businesses, little things I had was a beach cabana company, in Siesta Key. But I started that because I was doing cabanas for a company, all these resorts. And essentially I built relationships. That's where I learned relationships too. I built one relationship with one guy from Miami that would come over on vacation. And then I turned into kind of their cabana guy, coolers, ice, pop-up tents, whatever. So it was like I kind of learned from someone, tweaked a little bit, and then did my own thing. Um, but relationships, I think, probably are like the number one absolute thing that I could say have gotten me to where I'm at. But even with my medical business, similar to what Ryan said, I was working for a big corporate medical company out of California, and that's what got my foot in the door. By no means did I plan on having my own medical laboratory at that point. Kind of what Ryan said, I was making good money. I was making the company money. The benefits are good, right? The car's paid for. And then, obviously, you, like he said, you start paying attention, you learn a little bit, you evolve, you kind of want some more. Maybe things aren't going so great at the corporate structure, then, and that's where, for me, it became freedom ultimately is the goal. And I mean, it's such a journey. It's evolved every step of the way, even how I've dealt with it. So I feel like my advice would change, but it would just be have unwavering faith in what you're pursuing. Like if you don't need anyone else's approval, don't let anyone discourage you. If you feel it and your gut's telling you to do it, fuck what anyone thinks. Literally live in your truth and pursue it, and something good will come of it. It might not be that company, that idea, but it may lead to, I think the synchronicity, it all ties together. But just have a stupid faith in yourself, block everything else out, go for what you want.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, and similarly, I've always been an entrepreneur. I've had my own companies, but really some of the best lessons I've learned was when I partnered with a buddy of mine in this biohacking company, and we blew up this business. It was a nice mid 7-figure business. We did like 65,000 copies of our book through a free plus shipping funnel, right? And we were coaching and consulting, pretty prominent entrepreneurs to optimize their health and well-being. And I got to learn how to grow a podcast, a social media following, do a free plus shipping funnel, all on someone else's dime, right? Before I really started the Happy Hustle, I had other companies, I had a tech company prior, but I look at that journey and I'm like, wow, a lot of the lessons that I learned, I didn't have to pay for, and I think that's the beauty of what you guys are both talking about. We all can acquire this knowledge and leverage other people's, essentially capital and their business to learn these lessons. I am curious, once you made that leap and now you're running your own business, is there a pitfall that you can pinpoint? Maybe like a mistake that you made when you did, branch off and do your own thing. Is there something that you can kind of look back on as like, damn, I wish I wouldn't have done that, and maybe the lesson that came from it?
Yeah. I mean, well, how long we got?
Yeah, right.
Which one do you want? I mean,
I
the
know,
most
I
obvious
know.
one was like my first venture. Like I spent, 15 plus years in the ad agency business, largest agencies in the world, largest clients in the world, a book anyone would kill for. And I decided to go into the car business. Uh, to my credit, I had the Carvana idea before Carvana, and we were
Oh man.
doing it custom order, but we did it custom order where we essentially, 80% of used cars, or at least half, depending on the town and city, are come from auctions, and they're either trade-ins or auctions, used cars, and so with your dealer's license, you can go to auction buy cars for that other dealers have put out there. And what we would do is custom order, like if somebody, and there's a lot of off lease vehicles, a lot of other things. So if you wanted a BMW that's 2 years old, black on black with the M Sport package, whatever, we'll go to auction and get you that exact car, deliver it to your door, fully detailed, everything taken care of for $1,000
Wow.
over cost. And so we undercut every dealer's price. We made $1,000 a volume play. But it was kind of custom order, like delivered to your door. There was some commonalities with Carvana. I mean, it was way ahead of its time. And so the idea was good. The execution for a first-time entrepreneur that was really good at marketing, and the marketing fucking was awesome.
Yeah.
The operations, not so much. So I lost about $1 million on that whole learning lesson. And
Wow.
spent 3 years dealing, thinking that I was going to make something. Finally packed it up, lost about $1 million, and then got smart and started the right businesses, and the rest is history. But yeah, that's a learning lesson.
Yeah, that's a very, so pick the right industry essentially, right?
Pick what man. Stay with what you're good at. I mean, don't.
Yeah.
And look, all the gurus, man. And look, I respect Gary V, but no offense, I was doing marketing before he had his first glass of wine. So look, follow your passion. Your passion leads to wonders and lucky charms. Fuck that. Follow what you're good at. A lot of bad advice out there.
Yeah.
Oh, you go do what you want. Follow your passion. Yeah, it can work out. It's not that you need to be good at something though. Follow what you're really good at. Not what your hobby is. Not what you think is fun. Follow what you're good at. It's work that pays money.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Sage words. Sage words. What about you, Chris?
Damn. That's a really great question. There's a lot of things that cross my mind. Some that I probably can't speak about yet. Definitely right now, I would say it's similar to what Ryan said, stick to what you know. I think, I've tried to jump into a lot of investments, some passive, some active investments. I definitely tend to lean more towards high risk stuff. But I would say this is such a random one. We invested in an animal crematory. So cremating animals. And, being that we're in the healthcare business, selling to physicians, we thought, oh, it'll be kind of copy and paste, selling to veterinarians, just selling a service, right? But that was something we knew nothing about, jumped in, burned a lot of money. I mean, right now the company is kind of on a pause, and that was because of actually relocation, some relocation stuff going on. But so I wouldn't consider it, it's just a pause, but I will say it wasn't kicking it off the ground like we thought it would. So do your research. Don't assume that just you can pick up anything and turn it to gold, like what Ryan said, kind of stick to what you know. And that might come with, you have a little taste of success and you get a little bit of a Mr. Invincibility syndrome or something. You just think you're untouchable. And again, regret, maybe lessons from it. Absolutely. So, you take your licks and you evolve and move on. But that was definitely my most prime example.
Chris was smart enough to diversify in 3 or 4 things. I just threw it all, not all, but a lot of it all into one fucking thing so it can crash and burn.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I think that's, it's part of the journey. You learn those hard lessons. But hopefully, us talking about them can help the happy hustlers out there not have to experience them firsthand. And, speaking of firsthand experience, I do want to talk about right now, what's working with you guys and your businesses, especially in the marketing sector. Ryan, I think, this is a topic that people are confused by, because marketing in it of itself it's like this broad, all-encompassing term, but when you guys are marketing Vaycay, right? And we'll talk about Vaycay. When you're marketing your own podcast, I know, Ryan, you got, one of the top marketing and business podcasts in the entire country, and in the world for that matter. What do you see is working right now? it's beginning of 2024 as this goes live, and we're really, looking to the future, and all the happy hustlers are wondering, all right, what do I need to do to stand out? What do I need to do to drive traffic and ultimately convert that traffic into paying customers and then servicing them? What do you see right now as like the trends in marketing?
Yeah. And I'll just speak broadly, and then I'll talk maybe Vaycay. So Vaycay is a unique business. We have both immense opportunity and limitation
Yeah.
because of the product. And
Mm-hmm.
so it isn't really fair to either judge it or put it where I would put everything, though there are some overlays. So look, I'll say this: consumers have never been more aware that they're being marketed and advertised to than in 2024.
Yeah.
They know it. The gig's up.
Yes.
They know it. Companies want to sell shit, and people may or may not want to buy it, but they know that they're being advertised and marketed to. So anyone operating, any business, any person operating that doesn't quite understand that is in a real pickle. Because it guides what you should or shouldn't do. So look, I'm going to give buzzwords that people have heard, but some of them are real and some of them aren't. But look, authentic brands building real relationships and real community will win. And there's a lot of people out there that say, well, people don't have relationships with brands. At the end of the day, it's transactional. There's truth on both sides of that coin. But I will say this: the most successful brands have extremely loyal followers that talk a lot. I call these your pinnacle customers. Like they might be 20% as a total of people, but they buy 80% of what you're selling and or influence 80% of what you're selling. So you need to find those people and you need to nurture them, and not just nurture them with 10% off. You got to nurture them with surprise and delight. Write that down. Surprise and delight. People like to be surprised. They like to be delighted. They like to be educated, and they like to be entertained. And look, the smartphone is the greatest invention of all time. I marketed a shit ton of them, from the Droid to the Flip to the Juke to the BlackBerry. But look, it's the greatest marketing vehicle of all time. Social media, entertainment. It's a television in your hands. The television is now the radio, because you don't look at that shit. You're looking at your phone. You're hearing it. That's why you need a jingle on your fucking radio, on your TV station. Anyway, I digress. I'm on the pulpit now, guys. I'm ready. I'm giving the sermon of a lifetime right here.
Give it.
So look,
preach, brother.
I know that South Carolina coming out. Let's go.
But look, people, every moment that an ad runs is interfering with the next TikTok video I want to watch, or the next entertainment that I want to do. So you have to blend in product placement within content that is entertaining. You don't need to do an ad-like object. Ad-like objects get deleted, get swiped, get 1 second of view time.
Yeah. But
when you are doing content that flows with what is naturally within those platforms, that's how you win.
Yeah.
That's so you're going to see more and more of brands that understand this, that are integrated within content naturally. Yeah. We're on the precipice of this. Like, influencer marketing is the start of it. It started with spokespeople. Now there's influencers and there's all this, but it's still, and I even do this. I'm too ad-like. It needs to be more natural within the environment of what you're doing, how you do these product integrations. And so some of this is a blast to the past. Look, soap operas were the original. That's why they're called that. The soapbox. The Tide was sitting on the counter in 1971 because it was a soap opera. Because there's a TV show where you promoted stuff that stay-at-home moms were using. And now in today's world, though, you're going to see a return to that sort of content and different things where brands are naturally engaged and naturally flowing within the everyday consumer and what they're doing. And so anything that does that, anything that builds community, anything that rewards loyalty the right way. We've gotten hyper focused on sales, and we've gotten real fucking slack on taking care of customers that buy from us already. Everybody's focused on growth instead of retention. The people that were focused on retention while growing will win, period.
Facts.
So that's the 2024 playbook. Now, I can get into Facebook click-through rates and YouTube impressions. We can play that game all day. It's brand and demand, baby. We need to make sales overnight, but we got to build brand over time. And people are too focused on one or the other. You have the evangelist, like I used to be, brand. We got to fucking make some sales today. You need to drive demand in the short term and brand in the long term. It's a two-way street. You got to play both of those lines. And too many people getting performance marketing. I fucking hate performance marketers. Look, they've made this game so transactional that we're now having to back our way out of it. So it's not about sales. Not everyone's buying today. Look,
True.
At any given time, 20% of the market might be in the market for what you're selling.
Yep.
You can't make a sale today to someone that's not buying or not interested. So you got to play the brand game.
Whoa. Apologies for interrupting your programming, but I have to tell you, the best investment you can make in yourself is one in which helps you acquire skills. You've probably heard people talk about, oh, just invest in yourself and you'll be successful. Yes, that's true to a degree, but you have to invest in skills that will ultimately help you achieve your desired results. And I think one of the best skills one can possess, be it an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur, is the sales sword. Really knowing how to sell, utilizing pressure-free persuasion, which will make you more money and more impact. Now, if you want to know how to sell more efficiently and effectively, I just launched a sales course called The Proven Roadmap Process to Selling Millions of Dollars and helping you to increase your conversions, guaranteed. And you can get access to this new sales course that The Happy Hustle is launching at thehappyhustle.com/sales. And if you act fast, you'll get it at the lowest price it'll ever be available, because we are launching it and we want to gain amazing testimonials and social proof to further share this knowledge. So if you act fast, you can get it at the lowest price it'll ever be. That's at thehappyhustle.com/sales. Now let's get back to this episode.
You got to be top of mind. You got to build awareness so that when they actually want to buy your shit. But if you hound them and you pound them and you performance market the hell out of them, you lose. You win short term, you lose long term. It's called short termism. It's an ism. Go look it up. Go Google it. It's a thing. It's because you play the short game.
Yeah.
So, brother, I mean, this is right down my alley.
I love it. This is some marketing church. I feel like I'm hearing the gospel.
But but I'm telling you, if people will listen to what I'm saying and pay attention, they will win.
I agree 1,000%. And, you said something, I just want to echo the point. You said authentic brand, real relationships, real community, right? I mean, that in and of itself, if you just focused on being real, being raw, keeping it 100, right? And then building real relationships and a real community, like that is, especially with AI these days. I did a podcast on I think some of the flaws of AI, and yeah, there's plenty of pros, don't get me wrong, but one of the flaws I think is that it lacks community. We're just so focused on this automation and this integration of tech, but we don't actually meet it in the real world and have community, and people are lonely right now, like lonely folk out there just keyboard warriors and all this like, online meetings. And I just think there's a huge opportunity with real events, real community in the real world. That's number one. Number two, it lacks emotional intelligence, AI, right? And humor and being able to think, oh, my customer's having a baby. Maybe I'll send them like a little swaddle, right? Someone just sent me one. I was like, that was unique, right? And I was like, I knew emotional intelligence was at play, and so you have to think about these things into the future of marketing. Like, how can you differentiate and how can you actually stand out and build a brand and then increase that demand? I love that. Chris, what do you got to add there?
Yeah, man. Obviously, it's a hard act to follow, Ryan.
I know.
That's why we're partners, man.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, look, we both have strengths.
Yes,
been doing this for a long time. I need Chris's even flow to keep it all in check.
Those four monsters, you got to keep those days. You're on fire today. You're preaching hard. It's nice. We got some good reels coming out of that one right there, baby.
Oh, for sure.
So I obviously, along with everything you both have said, and maybe because we've touched more on the digital marketing, e-com, I'll touch a little bit on the medical sales for the medical lab, because it's completely different. But it aligns with exactly what you said, which was relationships and in real life. For my medical company, we serve doctors all over the country doing lab testing. I would guarantee probably 95% of those clients, doctors, offices we work with have never looked at my website, never looked at our Instagram. They look at the sales rep or my managers, whoever's in there every week, every other week, dealing with the medical assistants, talking one-on-one with patients. And that's something AI will never do. And I remember my professor in college, I was in a sales program, saying this: salespeople will always be in demand because there's always going to be a craving for that human to human contact and interaction, that community.
Yeah.
Obviously with Vaycay, we're building a community online, digitally, not fully, because we're still out there. You see me out networking, and even I can tell you, I've made relationships with a lot of people that have just kind of become big fans of the brand because of our relationship and just what we stand for and our mission behind what we're doing. But yeah, man, I would say at the end of it, it's all relationships. And what Ryan said, being authentic, whether that's authentic in your messaging online or just having authentic people working for you. Having, like you said, when I was in medical sales and going in these offices, if I'm seeing some medical assistant or a tech and, hey, I remember you said your mom was sick, how's she doing? Or, oh, your sister just had a baby. Dude, that stuff goes so far. Like, unbelievably far. I mean, that's real.
Yeah. I mean, some gold. I hope all the happy hustlers just go back and rewind and listen to the gospel truth from Ryan and that even flow from Chris. That's some gold. And I'm curious to kind of talk about how you're integrating these lessons and this wisdom into Vaycay. First of all, talk to us about what Vaycay is and really, how you're out there in the world, leveraging it to make the positive impact.
I'll say this, and Chris kind of started to go down this path a little bit. Vaycay is a passion brand for both of us. And I look at it as part of a more broad strategy for Chris and I, as this brand for the things that we care about and the things that we think are wrong. We talk about a lot of these things on the podcast. And I would say we're building the Vaycay brand by the brand and playing the long game with the avenues that make sense. We're not throwing, I think we've both learned lessons of throwing cash at every ad platform and just burning through hundreds of thousands of dollars, that we're using it as the brand. Like, we distribute the products to everyone that comes on the Radcast. We send products to people that come on the Vaycay podcast. Chris goes to a lot of events in Miami, spreading the word. We have influencers that we're growing, but it's a slow build. It's a slow burn. And I think it's intentional because we have passion around it, and we're not viewing it as a cash grab in 12 months.
Yeah.
So I think that's an important distinction to call out and be transparent about.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
while we know what we have in the look, the feel, and the message behind the brand, I think we're being judicious in both the budget and the play as it relates to money, time, energy. But it is very much a spoke on the wheel of the bigger play, I think, for both of us. And
yeah,
so, but it has its challenges because we're living in a world that still thinks, pharmaceuticals good and plant-based is bad. It's fucking
yeah,
crazy. And we're still fighting that with the ad platform limitations. And, we can bend the rules like every other company is doing, but we don't really want to do that every day. I don't. I don't want my team trying to, it's not that we won't play the game, but trying to work around these rules every other day, and our Facebook pixel getting banned like it just did. Like, it's like, really? I mean, because we're selling, lab tested, third party tested, low grade products that are helping people sleep, relax, not get blown away, you know, blasted like the vape shops. We're dealing with, all this, built up legacy challenges. And
yeah,
so, I think Chris and I bring a level of respect to the industry and, a tastefulness. Look at Chris down there in the vacay lounge. You kidding me? Has there been anything more tasteful than that? I mean, so, but I'm just serious. Like, but we're playing the long game here
yeah.
and building the brand slow and sure. And what it looks like today may not be what it is tomorrow, but we've got big plans and big ideas.
Love it. Yeah, I mean, and I'll just kudos to your branding, to the marketing, and to the mindset of, not trying to do a cash grab. Like you said, it's not the short-termism. You guys are playing the long game. And ultimately, you guys are serial entrepreneurs, happy hustling in many different verticals. So it is, just another spoke on the wheel, but it's one that's having a positive impact on those who, do utilize it. Chris, I know you have a unique story when it comes to Vaycay. Just give people just a 30,000 foot, backdrop, because I really resonate with your mission. And I think it's important to mention the backstory around it.
Yeah, man, for sure. So, part of my inspiration for Vaycay and creating these, natural plant-based products was I had a history with, addiction with pharmaceuticals, opioids, Adderall, whatever, Xanax, all things that were prescribed to me originally, and I didn't know the road I was going down, but, fast forward, went through that. And I got into the medical lab business because I was wanting to do testing and work with patients to try to help people that also may have had that same experience. So years of working with these physicians' offices and seeing people, with, not necessarily addiction, but on these medications that they might not necessarily want to be on, and thinking, okay, well, if we can, similar to medical marijuana, but obviously now with the farm bill and the hemp derived cannabinoids becoming legal, that's when I thought, okay, if we can create some low strength THC products, CBD, ashwagandha, we're not strictly cannabinoids, the ashwagandha, lemon balm, L-theanine, all these great things. If I can get a patient, before the pharmaceutical to try something natural,
Mm,
that's a win. Like, why not? And like
yeah.
Ryan said, all these products we use and these ingredients, like this is medicine. This is what the earth gave us to use, and for a long time we did. So it's really, trying to get back to a little bit healthier, more holistic wellness approach, and just offer. Really, it comes down to we want to help people and offer other solutions. And it may not be for everybody, but
Hmm.
at least for people to know it's there. And
Yep.
you know, yeah, man, that's the goal.
Heck yeah. I love it. And where can people go? I mean, if let's say they are interested in, checking out some Vacay products, where's the best place to go?
Take Vaycay. Vaycay. The only way to spell Vaycay. I'm not spelling it Vaycay. Look behind Chris there if you're watching the video. All this Vacay. Come on, man. It's Vaycay, baby. Vaycay. That's how you spell Vaycay. Takeavacay.com.
Yeah, takeavacay.com. We'll link it all up in the show notes. And, I also would recommend you guys check out their podcast. I mean, Ryan, you have, the Radcast that I know, Chris, you're on there as well a lot. Where can people go to check out more about, the marketing side of, kind of another spoke in the wheel, will you?
Yeah, I mean, we got the Vaycay, Vaycay podcast.com, all the shows, all the YouTube links, all that stuff. And then the Radcast. We're the #1 business and marketing show on Apple Podcasts in the U.S. and Great Britain.
Let's go.
And we are in the top 10 of all business podcasts in the U.S. There's over 40,000 of them. Chris and I do a weekly news episode that's really low key, but we hit on the high notes from business and marketing of the week and have fun doing it. We say you'll laugh while you learn.
Yeah, I love those, by the way.
I get on my soapbox a little bit, but I do try to bring it back. Chris and I will try to drop some value on, like the marketing lesson, and then we have an inspirational guest, both on the Radcast, related to business marketing. Might be a celebrity that started 3 businesses, or it might be a famous founder or something. We've got some big hitters. And then the Vaycay podcast, we're bringing on kind of the motivational health and wellness specialist, diet, exercise, breath work, sustainable products, plant-based products, mushrooms. We talk all the real shit, about how health and wellness, and, have a guest on, and definitely a lower key. I mean, I'm amped up today, obviously, but it's definitely a low key show. I guess it relates to the product. We get on Chris's vibe. It's his baby. And so, I try to tamper myself down a bit.
Yeah, and we'll link all those up in the show notes for sure. But you guys definitely were checking out both the Vaycay podcast and the Radcast. And, guys, I do want to put you through the happy hustle hack questions and then the rapid fire round, and then we'll wrap this bad boy up. But first and foremost, we talked a lot about health, and I'd like to ask, a happy hustle hack in the health game that's a little unique, maybe something that you don't talk about too much, but you do. Maybe something that is kind of classified as a tip, a tool, a tactic in the health game. Let's start with you, Chris. Anything come to mind when it comes to a happy hustle hack for your health, besides kind of what we've already talked about?
I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind, honestly, is microdosing. Not for everyone. I know it's obviously a big thing right now, but for me, for my mental health, which has in turn, I think, brought just positive synergies physically, spiritually, everything. But that for me, I would say in the last year has been like my biggest health catalyst, probably. Because of the fact it has helped snowball into other healthier, positive habits as a whole. So
yeah, just so everyone's clear, microdosing psilocybin, essentially mushrooms,
correct.
Right? Yeah,
correct. Yes.
And just maybe one key benefit that you've seen from doing so.
I would say like more focused and present, less pull and anxiety in all these different directions, especially, as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
It helped me really slow down and compartmentalize and organize and just be more efficient in a better state of mind.
Awesome. Yeah. And I mean, I know there's a ton of science around it too. So if someone wants to go deep in, actually our mutual bro, Jeremy, is deep into that world with the literature. So that's a great share. What about you, Ryan? Anything come to mind for the happy hustle hack for your health?
The Alfords it's like ingrained in us to like want to exercise and work out. Like, I don't know why. My sister and I both have this gene, so I just assume it's the Alford thing. My dad was the same way. My dad, growing up, and my mom, like, gym going has not been. We think that it's been around forever, but like in the early '80s, going to gyms wasn't a thing. Yeah, maybe in like LA and Miami or something, but like it was like what movie stars and bodybuilders did. But Mary Linda and Steve were well ahead of their time. And so I don't know what it is, but I'll just say this. I can have a crappy week of eating. I can be imbibing a little too much, maybe client, especially when now it's a little more controlled, not having to be in New York and dealing with clients and, all that stuff, going out every night. But like, if you will if I have 30 minutes, I'm getting 15 minutes of cardio and 15 in the weights. You don't need 2 hours, but 5 days a week, 30 minutes. And do not, like, look, I got 4 kids, 5 companies. I got Chris Hansen, one of my best friends. I mean, look, I got a lot to keep up with.
Yeah.
So, I got a lot to do, but you can find 30 minutes a day.
Yeah.
And no matter what you eat, no matter what you drink, no matter how your sleep is, it will make you feel better. You'll get more out of the day, and make it non-negotiable.
Yeah.
And like this is really simple health. I mean, I know everybody wants like the super secret hack. The microdosing is a good one. I mean, I'm still trying to find the right dose and product and all that. I get sleepy from it. I haven't figured out that shit yet. But but I'll just say this: get my 30 minutes, and that's usually an hour. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I've freed up that time where it is an hour, but no matter what, I've freed up the 30 minutes. Of 15 and 15, 5 days a week, non-negotiable. You will feel better all the time.
Yeah.
Not perfect, but better. It just, even if, too many drinks the night before, whatever, 30 minutes, it is a cure for a lot of things.
Yeah. 100%. That's what I always say is just stop shoving crap down your pie hole and move that ass. It's really that simple. There you go. That's Carrie's health and fitness routine.
I love that.
That's short form content right there, baby.
Yeah.
Can that be the title of the episode? Just quit shoving shit in your mouth and get your ass up.
No, it's got to be pie hole.
Yeah, exactly. My bad. Yeah, it's well pronunciated.
Yeah, right. Let's talk about money. I know you guys have both made a bunch, lost a bunch. It's a tool, it's a frequency, it's an energy, right? But I'm curious, do you have like a happy hustle hack when it comes to money? Maybe something you do that's a little unique that you do to save or invest or spend wisely, something, that we could deem a happy hustle hack in the money game?
I mean, I'll just say this, like I look at money as a tool. It's not like some people I think like are trying to stack it like in the basement and like, or wherever that is. And look, I'm all for saving, by the way. So I'm not saying that, but like, to me, it's just a tool to freedom. Like it allows me to do what I want when I want. And that isn't necessarily buying Lambos or, in the, in Dubai, like every other weekend or something. That's not like fun to me. Like I just want freedom. And you need money to have freedom.
Yes.
And so I think one distinction to make, but I never stop running out of ways to make money. So like you need multiple streams of income. And the moment you think you have enough, find more. And so you don't have to all be $1 million a year or $20,000 a month. Just stack them up and, have multiple streams and allow a few of those to be, you need your play money, your hay money, which is, stacking the hay, putting it back. We're from the South down here, baby.
I like it.
The play, the hay, and the make mommy happy.
I love that.
That's mommy for you and me. So there you go.
That's good. That's good. Chris, what you got?
If you're in Miami, the mommies.
Yes.
I don't have any, I don't think it's super secret tips and tricks, but like you guys said, I look at money, literally currency, you know, like a current, it's flowing. I think, and I almost think you have to keep it flowing. Like if you try to hoard it, money's going to stop coming. I'm a big believer in, the universal laws and abundance. And so I think the main thing is it starts in your mind, your mindset, just feeling like I'm owed this, I'm worth money, I'm worth this, I have value. And that's a battle sometimes as an entrepreneur. Like you take a few losses and you're kind of down, you're like, fuck. And that's where the fitness, whatever, microdosing, whatever your thing is to get you back in that like winner, I'm a fucking king mentality. Like I'm the shit. That I think that's the basis of it for me, is just feeling like I'm worth something. But the big one, I'm a crypto guy, dollar cost averaging, set that shit and forget it. Get it Coinbase, crypto.com, something, $100 a week, forget about it, go about your life. That's one of my hacks.
Yeah.
Don't even look at it.
Put stuff where you can't touch it, like where literally, but hope for high returning. I'm not saying like a 1% savings account. I'm saying like literally you can't touch it, And
get assets that make you money, Like Ryan mentioned the car. Like I have an exotic car, but I also rent it out half the month, which covers more than the cost and some. So it's like you can get creative and you can do kind of different, more fun investments. It doesn't need to be all, I feel like when you're younger and even in college, all you hear is stock market, 401k. You don't get creative with it. Like Ryan said, even if it makes you $1,000 a month, whatever.
Interesting. You rent out the Rari, Chris? I didn't even know you could do that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't do anything. I have a buddy has a company, manages it. We've got a nice split. They call me, say, hey, we've got a client. Is it available? Yes or no? We'll come pick it up. Dude, there's guys down here making 6-figure months off just renting cars. It's wild. Wow.
Man. Yeah, there's so many ways to make money. It's just, it's also being in alignment and in integrity with how you do it, I think is important, just to throw that caveat in there. But yeah, man, this has been awesome, guys. And, for time's sake, I know you guys, got another pod coming up, and I do want to put you through the rapid fire round. And so this is just, me asking you random things and you answer honestly, first thing that comes to mind. So we'll just kind of rapid fire, one go and then the next, and then I'll ask the next question. Are you all ready?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Born ready.
Let's go. Favorite food? Ryan.
Mexican.
Chris.
Steak.
Favorite book?
Oh. I always forget the name. There's a Come Back to Me. It's one word, and I always forget it.
I'm gonna shout out my boy Shiki Sheik, who was on the show, The Best Kept Secret. I've been reading this the last week or so. Super
nice,
high level, deep. I need to get you a copy. You would enjoy it, Carrie.
Okay, yeah. Well, did it come to you, Ryan?
It didn't, but I do love my boy. It's a marketing book, and it starts with a C, and it's been one of those days. So, but my boy, my favorite writer, who actually came on my show, is known as the Captain, Kyle.
Oh yeah,
Kyle Creek. You need to go check his writing out. Fucking History.
Awesome.
Really good book, and he's my favorite writer overall, and he writes a daily newsletter. And so I'm more of a newsletter guy than a book guy. But there you go.
Got it. All right. Favorite movie? Let's go.
Shawshank Redemption or Fletch?
Gladiator or Wedding Crashers?
Nice. Love it. What's your spirit animal?
Tiger. I don't know. I don't believe in that shit.
Someone literally told me yesterday I need to pick a spirit animal for myself, and I didn't. But the first thing I thought of when you said it was I'm a fucking lion. That was what came in my brain.
There you go. Best business advice.
Don't listen to anyone else. Like, Chris kind of said that earlier, and I don't mean don't learn. There's two differences here.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't learn from anyone else, but don't listen to anyone else.
Trust yourself.
Chris?
Follow your gut.
Trust yourself. Know your worth.
Yeah. 3 things you're most grateful for.
My kids and wife, my family, my health, and my boy Chris Hansen.
I was going to say life, family, my dog Storm. Sorry, Ryan.
That's all right.
My number four is Ryan Alford.
There you go. There you go. And if you had a billboard for the world to see with your last piece of content on it, what's that billboard read?
Live a radical life. You will never forget it, or never regret it, I should say. Not forget it.
Trust God.
Boom. Crush that rapid fire round, gentlemen. And Ryan, Chris, gentlemen, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge you both for sharing your love, your light, your wisdom, your unapologetic self, your gospel marketing truth, that even flow. I mean, I just appreciate you both and looking forward to broing out. Hopefully in Montana sometime soon, you guys come out and visit. You know, we get out in the backcountry wilderness or hit the slopes together, or maybe down in Miami soon, Chris. I'll come visit you. But I just appreciate you guys and want to say thank you. So
no, thank you, Kerry. Really appreciate
brother.
it. Look forward to all that. I want to camp. I want to surf. I want to ski. And
let's go.
Let's just do it.
Yeah.
There I go.
And where's the best place for everyone to follow you guys online? Just maybe give your socials out and go ahead and mention again the best place for people to find Vaycay is again.
I'll let Chris catch that last part. I'm at Ryan Alford. It sounds like 2 L's, but it's 1. ALFORD. You'll see that blue check mark next to my name everywhere. Before you could buy it, I had it. So just FYI. It helps when you have a good podcast. I've done nothing but have a good show. I have no fame from anything else. But there and ryanalford.com/newsletter. I give away all my free advice daily for free. So sign up there.
Awesome.
Yeah. Best place for me is Instagram, Chris Broby Hansen, BROBY. That's got links to podcasts, Ryan's weekly newscasts, and then of course Vaycay, takeavaycay.com, BAYCAY. Check us out, check the products out. And you can find Vaycay on Instagram as well, vaycay.global.
Love it. Yeah, and we'll link all that up in the show notes. Gentlemen, this has been an honor. Final question. What does happy hustling mean to you?
Chris. Go.
Freedom.
Yeah.
Straight up.
No regrets. It's just no rearview mirrors, baby. All
fucking
looking
run
forward.
it.
Yeah.
Mic drop. Ryan Alford, Chris Hansen, thank you for watching and listening, everyone. We are out. Peace and love, everyone.